welcome back to Movies, Munchies, and Moscato. I am Rhonda.
And I am Rochelle.
And we're just a couple of friends who love movies, television, and wine. So that is something that interests you. Please stick around and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And now it's time for movie news, reviews, and pulp culture discussion. So first off, I thought we could discuss a little bit of the Critics' Choice Award winners because that award show happened over the weekend. Yes. Nomadland, just like at the Golden Globes, also took Best Picture and also Best Director. Chloe Zhao also won. Chadwick Boseman won again for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom for Best Actor in a Drama. And then Carey Mulligan, this is a change, she won for Best Actress in Promising Young Woman.
Wow.
I really want to see that movie. It's still on demand. You gotta I think you can find no, you still have to pay $20. I did look. You still have to pay $20 to watch it. So as soon as it gets down to the $6 range, I'd pay that to watch it at home.
That'll probably happen after the Oscars.
Oh, right. So it might be a while. But I do want to see that. And then Daniel Kaluuya won for Best Supporting Actor in Judas and the Black Messiah again. New winner, Maria Baklova.
Baklava.
She won for Best Supporting Actress for Borat. So,
oh, brother.
Wow, right? Best Ensemble Cast. This is a category that's only at the Critics' Choice, but it went to The Trial of the Chicago 7. So, Best Comedy Movie was Palm Springs. I saw that last year in the summertime. It was very funny, so if those don't know and want to check it out. Best Drama for TV went to The Crown. As well as Best Actor in Josh, Best Actress in Emma, and Best Supporting Actress in Gillian Anderson.
Yay!
So they all won again for their roles. That's awesome. Best Supporting Actor in TV was Michael K. Williams for Lovecraft Country. So that was a new winner. Best Limited Series was again The Queen's Gambit, and also Anna Taylor-Joy for Best Actress. So that's really good.
Yeah, she was so good. I love that show.
Recognition.
I still have to finish it.
Donald Sutherland won for Best Supporting Actor in a Limited Series for The Undoing.
Yes.
So that's a new winner. And then Best Supporting Actress in a Limited Series went to Uzo Aduba for Mrs. America. Also, she was a new winner. So
that was a good show. I liked Mrs. America.
So that's one I have on my list to watch. I just haven't.
It's good.
I haven't gone back to do so.
I think it is anyway.
So I'll definitely have to check it out. So those are just some of the main winners from the Critics' Choice Awards. So I thought that was neat, especially since we had some change-ups from the Golden Globes. So in news, Party Down, that is a revival that's in the works at Starz for a 6-part limited series. I remember back in the day, check out a couple episodes. It was pretty funny. At the time I was living out with my parents and they had Starz. I don't have it now, but it was just, it follows a Los Angeles catering team of Hollywood wannabes stuck working for tips until their big break happens. And it just had a lot of lesser known TV personalities in there. Like Kristen Bell did a couple episodes. Ryan Hansen, who was on Veronica Mars with her. It was Michael J. Black was in there. There was just a couple of this, like I said, lesser known actors. If you see their faces, you know them, but they're character actors that aren't, like I said, super well known. But it was a funny show. So I think that's neat. They're going to do a little revival to, I guess, close it out. Because I guess it ended in not the greatest way, as so many things do. So they're bringing it back to get a little more out of it.
Oh, good.
Also, The Equalizer has been renewed for season 2. Yay!
Woo!
That is a good show. Apparently, it has great ratings. So.
I love Queen Latifah in it. Mm-hmm. I think she does a great job.
Yeah, it's such a good show. I look forward to that every week. So, one of the few shows on just regular network TV that is still being watched today.
I'd like to know if anyone has seen Clarice. That's one that I've been wanting to watch, and somehow I keep forgetting when it's on, and I haven't watched any of it. But that is one that I would like to check out, and I don't know if anyone has watched it or what they've thought of it so far.
Yeah, that's true. I haven't heard about anyone watching it either. That's something I wouldn't watch because I was never into this Housewives stuff. But so,
well, I was. I mean, I know you're so surprised by that.
So if you end up watching, you'll have to let me know. But yes, if any of you out there watch it want to make a comment about it, please let us know. That'd be great. So movie and TV shows out this week. We have Cherry, which is a movie with Tom Holland. This will be out in theaters. It's about the wild journey of a disfranchised young man from Ohio who meets the love of his life only to risk losing her through a series of bad decisions and challenging life circumstances. I watched the trailer on this, and it did look interesting. A very dark show because of where it goes. I mean, he basically, he gets sent to have scan. He has PTSD when he comes back. He ends up a drug addict, and he has to commit like crimes to pay back a debt because of the drug addiction. So it looked, like I said, it looked dark. It's probably good. I think Tom Holland is a good actor.
I do too.
So,
I do too.
Moving beyond Spider-Man is great for him. As he gets older. Also, a movie called Trust. This is with Victoria Justice and Catherine McNamara. And this is about a couple who are each tempted to act on attractions to other people, which is a tale as old as time. But again, no new ground tread on this. I mean, this it was pretty straightforward. Couple married. Oh, let's meet this guy. Oh, he meets this girl. Oh, should we act on it? Oh, I don't know. So I don't know. It's not something I'd probably watch. It's one of those ones that is on demand only right now, so you have to, or this weekend I should say. So you have to pay to watch it. So watch if you will.
All right.
Now coming out on Tuesday actually of next week, we have SAS Red Notice. Now this has Sam Heughan, of Outlander. Also Hannah John Kamen and Ruby Rose. And this is about a groom who is with special forces, and that is played by Sam. Who has his wedding plans disrupted when a small army of well-trained criminals hijack the Eurostar deep beneath the English Channel.
Oh, and he's going to kick some booty.
Right, this is going to be on Apple TV, again, starting next Tuesday. So the trailer for this actually did look good, so I'm sure I'll check this out.
Oh, yeah.
This is on Apple.
Well, it's Sam,
Right.
Just to look at Sam some more would be really
right?
great.
In a different role, because, again, you don't see... I saw him in... There was something I had watched recently, and I didn't realize it took me a minute to realize, I'm like, where do I know this dude's face from? And I realized it was him, because it just was so different seeing him in normal clothes. And he was a bad...
Normal clothes?
He was a bad guy in it, so I was like, huh? It was it was a Vin Diesel movie. Now I can't think of the name of it, though, because it didn't do very well, I remember, but... Anyway, Vin Diesel had memory problems, and Sam played one of the guys that was basically trying to keep the real information from him. So it wasn't a good guy, but it took me a minute to realize that's who it was. I was like, oh, you're okay. I got it.
Gotcha.
Got it, because, his American accent and everything. So
yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. Anywho. it was an interesting movie. If I ever remember what it is, I'll have to let you know, because the name is escaping me right now. Okay. Also next week, we have The Courier with Benedict Cumberbatch. This is a true story of a British businessman unwittingly recruited into one of the greatest international conflicts in history. He forms an unlikely partnership with a Soviet officer hoping to prevent a nuclear confrontation, and the two men must work together to provide the crucial intelligence used to defuse the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Oh, wow.
Right?
That sounds good.
This is just going to be in theaters.
I love Benedict Cumberbatch. I think he's a great actor.
He really is. He is. This looks like it would be a good movie. It's not my type of movie usually. But it does look, the trailer did make it look good. So I probably wouldn't run to see it in theaters personally, but
yeah.
I would watch it later once it became available.
If it's on HBO Max, right. I might watch it.
And where I saw this trailer, actually, speaking to our next thing, is me and Rochelle went and saw Chaos Theory.
Chaos Walking.
Yeah, that too.
But it was a theory. It was kind of a theory, yes.
Chaos Walking, yes. We went and saw that in theaters, so yeah, we didn't get any popcorn. So no munchie there. I did get red vines though, which are always, a pleasure and wanted.
That's right. We unfortunately couldn't have any wine in there.
No wine.
But I did have some over the weekend, and it is the Clos du Bois Cabernet, and it was so good. Well, I love Clos du Bois anyway, and I love it. The Pinot Grigio, the Chardonnay, and this Cabernet was really good. My husband drank most of it. I was kind of upset.
Oh.
But it was on sale for $11.99. Now, this bottle typically sells for $16.99. So,
wow.
I don't know if it's still on sale, but go to your wine store and see if it's there. But it's the Clos du Bois, and it's so good.
Now, sorry, remind me, Cabernet is a red wine?
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm. Oh. I know. And I haven't been able to drink red wines until I went to Sonoma and went wine tasting and decided that, oh my gosh, I was fine if I drank really good red wines, not your cheap wines, but maybe more expensive bottles, which kind of sucks because, I'm somewhere between the $10, $15 dollar bottles, and If I want to drink red, I'm gonna have to go like, probably above that. But that's okay. It's not that much. It's just
And you don't do it that often, so it's okay to treat yourself.
Yeah, you're right. And as long as I don't get a headache, I'm good with that.
Right.
So
it was so funny because I learned, probably 3 years ago, it was 3 years ago, on a Napa trip that I realized that I like white wines more than the red. Prior to that, I honestly don't think I really realized it. I wasn't sure because I was drinking some red. But on that trip, everything I tasted, that when we went to the different wineries, it was all the white ones that I ended up liking. So, But I am open to trying your red that you're talking about, just because maybe I'll surprise. I like it.
Hey, if your mom can get it up on base, have her get some.
Right? That's a good idea. Okay, so Chaos Walking.
Yes.
What was the stick in my head?
It was very odd.
Yes, it was a very odd movie. I
Yes.
agree. Now, this starred Tom Holland and Daisy Ridley and also Cynthia Erivo. And so...
I love her.
Yeah,
I think I mentioned that before.
Yes, you have.
Okay.
She is
I'll
good.
just go ahead and let that go then.
Yes, you have mentioned that before. So, Daisy Ridley's character, she's crash landing on what they call New Earth. And I want to say the year said it was like 2047. I want to say it was
Yes.
And so it's already in the future. Tom Holland and Mads Mikkelsen and Nick Jonas are already on this New Earth planet and have been for decades. And so they've had this way of life where there's only men left. And you can hear what they call their noise, which is their thoughts projected out into the open for everyone to see.
Drove me crazy.
So that was weird. It was, but the FX of it, the way they did it was brilliant.
Yeah.
It was cool how they made it look. But she gets there. She's a woman, and with a woman, you can't hear their thoughts. Which, although it wasn't really expressed that I remember, but I feel like that's obviously the reason the mayor of the town was so, I think, drove all the women away, or they were hurt because he didn't like that. He didn't know what they were thinking.
Right, he didn't know what they were thinking.
Right, and so it was like they all have to go type attitude.
Yes.
So, without giving anything else away on that, it was just weird. The pace was a little slow. Mm-hmm. It was a little slow at times, and I was honestly surprised that there was no real romantic connection between Daisy and Tom's character.
Right.
Yeah, when I actually thought there would be. Now, I know it's a series of books, and perhaps those of you who have maybe read the books, maybe that changes as it goes on. I don't know. They just gave me more of a, and I'm sure, unfortunately, this is probably just an actor thing, and their natural chemistry just wasn't there. Mm-hmm. I don't even see where it makes sense to have these two.
Right. Well, he looks like such a kind of a teenager, Right? Or just this youngin', and yeah.
Right.
Well, and she...
And she's young, too. I mean, sometimes I forget because, she was in the Star Wars movies. That she is younger than you think she is. You know what I mean? But, yeah, he does seem younger. I think they're actually in real life only 2 years apart. But
although at the end, not to give anything away, I feel like I could probably, maybe something could, could develop. So
That's true.
How many corks did you give it?
So I would just give it 3 wine corks, I would say.
I'm right there with you. I'm going to go with 3 as well.
Yeah. It wasn't quite what I was thinking, but I'm glad we saw it.
Yes. And again, it was awesome going to the movie theater.
Sure was.
Got to keep those puppies open.
It was. And, even with and it was a sold-out feature. I mean, yes, there is spacing, so it wasn't as full of a sold-out as you know, but, I mean... It was pretty full in there, so that was nice.
And the recliners just make it so cozy and comfy. So
I do wish that our Cinemark had the heated seats. Apparently, some of the Cinemarks now have heated seats.
Are you kidding?
That recline. I was like, that would be awesome. Obviously, not in the summer, but when it gets colder.
But in the winter, ooh,
that'd be nice if you could turn on a heated seat. I would be all about that.
Yeah, me too.
So looking forward to that. So individually, what I have watched this week. I watched the movie Boss Level on Hulu. I mentioned this coming out just last weekend. It was so good. I was so entertained, you guys. This had Frank Grillo and Mel Gibson in it, and Naomi Watts. And it was just a Groundhog Day scenario, lots and lots of action and some funny laughs thrown in there. Just like watching him go, day after day through this, trying to figure out why he's in this time loop and how we can get out of it. And so once he does, it's just great, like how it really does kick in even more gear then. So I highly recommend it. It's just an hour and 40 minutes of your time, and I wanted to watch it again. That's how much I enjoyed it. So I definitely give that stuff. That's a 5 wine cork.
Oh, that's
show
great.
for me.
Wow. I don't think you've really
Right?
given that
It was
5
just-
yet.
Right? It was just one of those like, yeah, let's just chill here. And it was just, yeah. I was just
And you wanted to
entertained.
watch it a second time.
I did.
That's a
I
good.
stopped myself. I had other things to watch, but I did want to watch it again.
That's how I feel about Harry Potter and
Oh.
Lord of the Rings. I just
Right.
keep watching it, you know.
That's
And
true.
and I'm so going to watch, and I know I brought this up before, the extended versions of Lord of the Rings. I mean, this could be going on for hours. It becomes like a 4-hour movie.
Right, I do watch it. If it's on TV, and I do stop for a little bit. I mean, I watch the whole movie, but I am when I stop and rewatch because that's a good show too. I also watched the movie Coming to America. This is the sequel to the first Coming to America. This was on Amazon. I like this not as much, unfortunately. You know, I really enjoyed the first one so much back in the day, and you know, this one was good. It was funny, not as funny. You know, since it was on Amazon, I feel like it was supposed to be in theaters originally, but you know, they mainly made it PG-13, so they did tone down a lot of the more like R-rated stuff they would have seen, like with a little bit more crassness, which I think worked in the first movie, so they didn't really have that.
They're also older.
It was more family friendly. That's true. They are.
They all have kids,
older.
and they're probably like, we're gonna watch this, tone it down.
Right, exactly. So, but I did like it. They had a lot of nostalgia thrown in there, which I thought was great. I'd heard that some people didn't like the nostalgia part, so I thought that was the point of it. I mean, you wanted to look back and see, you know, the differences. So, I enjoyed it. I was watching this at Sunday, you know, dinner with my parents, and my dad thought there was just way too much music in it for him. He's like, "Why is there so many musical like numbers and breaks?" And I'm like, "But I enjoyed the music in it." So he gave it three wine corks. I'd give it 3.5 wine corks because I did think it was good, but just it wasn't great.
Gotcha.
So.
Yep.
And finally, I started to watch Good Girls on Netflix. Now, this is an NBC show, which I know is still currently airing. I think their season 4 just started airing again, so I'm just starting out with it. So I actually got through season 1 of the show, and so I was just highly entertained. It's 3 girls, 2 are sisters, one's best friend, and they have financial hardships. They decide to rob a grocery store to get some money, and from there though it takes on a whole other dimension of what crime they go from robbing stores then to helping like move pills and then into it's just it's just funny because they're kind of good at it but not. So think of a lesser high risk like form of like Ozark where it's just like things happen where it's like, why are you in this situation, and you just like get yourself out of it. And so but it's also funny because they're in this situation. So I'm enjoying it. So I have 2 more seasons on Netflix to get through before I'm up to date. But they're only like 10. Like season 1 was only 10 episodes. I don't know how long season 2 is, but I'm assuming it's probably 10 or 11.
And are they hour?
Yeah,
episodes?
And they're hour-long episodes, but they just zip by. They're not even full hours. It's about 42 minutes. It doesn't have the commercials. Because like I said, it airs on NBC, so they had technically the hour had commercials in it beforehand. So
they get through it pretty quickly.
Yeah, so I was surprised when I was like, wow, I'm done with. I just started watching this on Sunday, y'all. It's only Tuesday. I'm already done with season 1. That just tells you I was like, yep, let's watch any free time. So yeah,
that's good. I love those shows that just grab you.
Yes. So yes, good time there.
Well, and I watched. Well, aside from Chaos Walking. I still have my regulars on TV that I have to watch. But the other one, which was new on Netflix, is Murder Among the Mormons. That was an interesting documentary on Mark Hoffman, who was he was Mormon, but he also was a dealer, and let me rephrase the kind of dealer he was.
Right, I was like, wait a minute.
But he would find like letters, and we all know probably that we've heard of the salamander letter that supposedly would rock the Mormon church to its core, because we've always been told that it was Joseph Smith who saw an angel Moroni, who was then given the golden plates. But in this letter it says that it came from a white salamander, so they were going to buy that from him. And so anyway, he forged so many documentaries. He forged so many documents. And people bought them. Not just the Mormon church, but all types of historians bought these documents that he forged. Amazing. Like even to the educated eye, you could not tell the difference.
Wow.
And when things started happening and, they started getting he started getting nervous about it, in which he then decided the people that he was dealing with started questioning him. And he decided it was time to take a life. And he confessed to everything. But it's such an amazing thing. And for those that are younger that don't know much about it, that have only heard maybe rumors, I would watch this because this was truly amazing. I remember when it happened. And I just thought, bombings down in Salt Lake City. Well, isn't that fun? I think I'm going to go get ready for my date. But, anyway, I thought that was really good. And that's kind of it for me this week. Aside from, Bachelor last night.
Of course, The Bachelor.
Oh, yeah. And, of course, ID, still looking at that stuff.
Right, exactly.
So,
well, that's good. Okay, now it's time for our next real-life stories turned into movie or their real versus reality series. This week we're going to do The Pursuit of Happyness. This was a very good movie that came out in 2006 that starred Will Smith and his real-life son, Jaden Smith. So it was about the struggle for a single father. He was evicted from his apartment. Him and his young son found themselves alone with no place to go. Chris eventually lands a dream job as an intern at a prestigious brokerage firm, but the position pays no money, so the pair have to live in shelters and just endure many hardships while he gets to creating this better life for himself and his son. You did see this, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it was such...
Talk about cry. I mean, I was crying, a lot.
Mm-hmm. It was such a good show.
He did an amazing job, Will Smith.
I know, he really did. And so the real life Chris Gardner, he did indeed struggle in the 80s with homelessness while raising his toddler son. One difference between the two is his son was only 2 years old in real life, but although in the movie, I think...
he was portrayed older.
Right. He was portrayed older. The real life Chris Gardner said he was a producer on the movie. He said he understood, obviously, he would take some liberties, and it just made more sense for them to be interacting as a little bit older a kid than a 2-year-old. He's like, so yeah, obviously I didn't have those conversations with my son, but he says, I get where it made more sense for the movie to do that. He did indeed sell medical equipment to get by. And just like in the movie, he had decided to become a stockbroker after having seen this really well-dressed man in a Ferrari outside a hospital that he was trying to sell medical equipment to. And he just started talking to him about his life and what he did. And that's what made him really interested in becoming a stockbroker. So that part that happened in the movie really did happen. The stockbroker's name was Bob, and he did introduce him all to the world of finance. Bob organized meetings for Chris with different managers at different brokerage firms until he did gain a position as an intern at Dean Witter Reynolds in San Francisco. So all that was true to life from what they showed in the movie. He did have to quit his job selling medical equipment because of the long hours it took to be an intern. There just wasn't time to do it, so he just had really no money. So him and his son did continue to sleep in subways and homeless shelters. I guess at one point he said he really did have to sleep in like the BART station.
Wow.
Just to get by. I mean, he says sometimes too, though, he would sleep at the office just after hours. He would sneak his son into the office after hours and then sneak him out to the daycare before anybody got there.
Heart-wrenching.
Right? Just to get by. I think that's so crazy. In 1982, he did pass his Series 7 exam on the first try and then was then hired as a full-time employee by that brokerage firm. So he worked there for about a year, and then he was recruited by Bear Stearns and Company, also in San Francisco. He did end up having another child in 1985 with his ex-girlfriend, who was also the mother of his son. So just like in the movie, I guess the difference in that is that you saw, the mom being portrayed, I think it was by Thandie Newton in the movie. He had a wife who he left for his son's mother. So that it didn't really show that in the movie, but and it also didn't show that he had another child, but he did have only because he'd already become a stockbroker by the time he did have the second child. But he hadn't yet made, a lot of money, but at least he was on a better footing and getting by. He did found his own brokerage in 1987 in Chicago, which I think is so awesome. He started his own company.
Yeah.
It did so well that he sold his stake in it in 2006 for multi-million-dollar price.
Wow.
And he took that money and then became the CEO and founder of the Christopher Gardner International Holdings. He now has offices in New York, Chicago, and San Francisco.
Wow.
And he's just thriving. He's feeling philanthropic and everything. So it's great.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep, it's really cool. So I think that show really did really good for. It was one of those ones that really was similar. I mean, they didn't take very many liberties when it came to the guy's life story.
So they tried to keep it as true to the story as possible.
Yes.
Oh, good.
So
Well, no, it's a great show. It's a tearjerker, but I think it's very inspiring.
Mm-hmm. No, I do too. So that's what our show is for this week.
Well, that's all the time we have this week. Thanks so much for listening. We had fun as usual and hope you enjoyed it as well. We will be taking a break next week, but we'll be back the following week, the week of the 22nd, with some new information and material. So please give us a review or comment, as it really helps us out. And please follow us on Instagram at movies_munchies_Moscato. We'll see you next time. Thanks for hanging.
Thanks, guys.